Hey, 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 it is your boy, Black Star Dove. I'm back with another video to express my thoughts and opinions about a few topics. The topic of discussion in this video is how I believe that we can repair the relationship between black man and black woman. This is live, so no editing here. Um, So what I think what needs to come is have a meeting of the minds where you have a group of black men from all different classes and different standards, things of that nature, and that have a same group of black women come together and then they can all voice their frustrations. The most important thing I believe is to listen. Like actually listen to the other party. Because if you listen to the other party, you'll see that they seem to say some of these same things. Um, it's just from what I have seen and experienced. Of course, someone else can see things differently. That's why you want to have a meeting of the minds to have more than one view. Um, the major thing that I believe that black women really go for is that they do not feel protected. Um, from all the videos that I have seen, and I have watched a lot of black women YouTube, especially that is promoting um, being feminine for women and things of that nature. And they said that they do not feel protected by us, the black man. Me personally, that makes me feel kind of low because I personally try to uplift black women whenever I can. Um, but I know it's about the whole, not some of the parts. Um, and then for black women, sorry, for black women also feel like black men don't hold other black men accountable. They push them to the side and just say that's that person. We're different, and they would like to have black men hold other black men accountable. And then you have the black man for the black woman um, about holding each other accountable as well. Um, you hear things like women say they were manipulated by another man. I do not believe that to be the case. I'm not trying to downplay their experience, but from my viewpoint, I would say that that woman allowed herself to be, she was trapped in her own blinding light, if that means any sense. What that means for me is that she wanted this to work so bad, she was willing to believe whatever because she was blinded by her own light. If you think of manipulation, all that means is just to convince someone to do something or convince someone of something. Well, we do that every time we talk. So every time you talk, you're trying to manipulate in a sense. So that's why I don't believe that someone can be manipulated. I do believe that they were blinded by their own light. Again, I do not want to diminish or seem like I'm attacking or anything like that. This is just my viewpoint. Um, for me personally, I've also seen women do some of the same things that men do, but then try to call out men. Now, that gets a little bit dicey depending on what type of woman you are and what type of man that you're looking for. Um, but I'll give you a perfect example. Women like to call other women who don't show the same standards as them, they call them pick me's. So whenever a woman does something and another woman don't like it or a group of women don't like that she did that, they say that's a pick me. Separate me from her, that's a pick me. That's a whole nother group. Well, that's similar to what men do when they say, hey, we're not him. They don't call him pick me. They just say, hey, we're not that dude. Separate us from him and then focus on us. So, it goes back and forth. But, like I said, depending on what type of woman you are and what type of man you're seeking. Now, the videos I usually tend to watch are about women who are expressing their feminine ways and how they want to remain feminine but have a masculine man. Some would say that's the traditional route. That's perfectly fine. If you're that type of woman, I mean, it seems a little nitpicky for a black man to say that and point that out, because you're supposed to say, hey, you're the masculine, I'm the feminine. There's things that you can get away with and things that you can do that I don't even want to do, and vice versa. So, get in when you fit in. But like, I really think that we should have a sit down. I try myself to participate in panels, and it usually just turns into a shouting fest because, you know, someone wants to be, because you have so many different personalities, you have women who believe that they should always be more masculine. So that masculine goes up against another masculine. Not even just a woman versus a man, a woman versus a woman, and then it usually just starts to break down from there. So I'm trying to trying to think of a way that this can happen where this can be the most effective. Um, no name calling, no fighting, no shouting. Um, I was thinking more like the best thing is that if it was like actually a Zoom call, you can mute everyone and let that one person speak. But you know that doesn't really give dialogue. Sorry, dialect. Um, so like I usually prefer face to face, or at least staying 6 feet apart. At least in the same room. That that provides actual conversation. Otherwise, it's like a text message, and you know that's boring. Well, to me, that's boring. I'm a little bit old school. I grew up talking on the phone till like 3 in the morning, but that's just me. I'm 32 years old, so I feel old. um, but more importantly, just like I said, just listening, and that those two examples that I provided is just one example of how one side feels against the other. There are a plethora of other things that are wrong with our community that both black men and black women have to take responsibility for. But I believe if we come together, we listen to each other, we take responsibility for our faults, even if they're not part of our group. So we're bringing everyone together, black man, black women, and then we're gonna include the LGBT for, because for some reason they don't like the him, her, he, she, the pronouns and all that stuff. So making sure that we include everyone, whatever you identify as. If you call yourself an it, you're more than welcome. So I just want to make sure I'm not disrespecting nobody. Um, but just like really coming together, because I really believe that we can do it. Um, Lately it just seems like there's no hope. I'll be honest, but I truly believe if we just get the right people together, and it doesn't have to be no celebrities, even though that might get the most attention and most eyeballs, but let's get some everyday people, like me, you, like the person next door, let's everyday people that's out here doing this, versus somebody who lives in a mansion. I think that would make a bigger world of difference. Um, but it's going to take all of us. It's not going to take just the man or just the woman. It's going to take all of us to do a real effort to really listen to each other. Listen, like my grandmother used to say, God gave you two ears and one mouth, so shut the fuck up and listen. Well, sorry for cussing, but that's what my grandmother said. um, Rest in peace to my grandma. Just like I'm sorry if I got a little off track with this video, but man, you don't know how important it is to listen to someone and not be so quick to just talk. Because sometimes you hear something and it triggers you. Hey, I'm guilty of that too. I'm a human being. But let's put those triggers aside. Let's put away those traumas and let's heal together as a people. Because I love you. Black man, my black brothers, I love you. My black women, my black queens, I love you. You know, I'm raising a young king and I won't be here forever. So hopefully I can teach him about respecting and honoring and things of that nature. And he can teach my grandkids that. Um, but other than that, I love you all. Stay safe. Stay 6 feet apart. Wear a mask. Me, lose some weight. I'm working on it. Just came from the gym, really. But I love you. Goodbye.